Yeah, so on these, super long Renko bars here, right, the entire trade is going to take place within a single bar there, all right? So we're working with three order sets. So we have order set A and B, and then C is down here. So let's just start, plugging in some of these numbers here. All right, so profit target for A is just a tick, and we'll go with 20 there, and then open this up, go to the options tab. All right, there. So in the initial placement, we'll change the 20 ticks. There we go to 15. All right, so that's good. That's done. And let's see here. Yeah, I was just double checking myself here. So yeah, there's no stop loss, which which is not necessary here, because really the question is about scaling in C, right? So order set C here. So let's go ahead and make that. Let's make all of these order sets here. There we go. So the question is about scaling in C, but after profit target A and B have been filled. Okay? So yeah, that's where the trouble lies there. So all right. So let me finish setting up. Let's see this profit target. So this is a 50 tick profit target. All right. And I'll leave C at 25 there. Yeah, because it doesn't really matter for this question here. Now I gotta figure out how to make all this math work out here. Yeah, so if we have a 50, then yeah, so it says it's a market entry. Although, all right, so probably the entry signal, is triggering when the market gets down to the open price plus 10 ticks. All right, so that tells me I need my Renko bars, to be a little bit longer here. Yeah. All right, so focusing on the actual question here, setting up C so that the entry is only placed when the profit target for A and B are filled. So I'm not sure exactly what this 3 ticks of movement is, but so so if you want your order to wait here for something else to occur, so in this case, right, we want this entry order to pause, or the terminology we use is this entry order goes into a pending state until some other action occurs here, right? And so that's what the placement here does. So this placement acts as a delay or a secondary kind of triggering requirement here. So for this, actually, we need to switch over to the advanced tab here, and my add button doesn't work. Well, looks like we got a problem. All right, so let me start on the basic tab here, and we want to use order status changed. All right, so first thing we're looking for is we want to know when the profit target for A is not placed but filled. Right, there we go. So there's your options. Right, so we want to know when it's filled there. And then also on the advanced tab, there we go. All right. So once we have a trigger established on the basic tab, then we can go to the advanced tab. And now we can add another order status changed here. All right. So the first order status change, right, we set it to be monitoring when profit target A is filled. And so the second one down here, right, that one's going to be looking at when the profit target for B is filled as well. And that's it. Yeah. So let's see here. The cancel. Okay, we do need to put in a cancel because obviously a piece of software doesn't know, when it should or should not cancel an order, right? So since we know that this entire trade takes place within a bar here, so we need to cancel this when this bar closes. All right. So so let's put in a cancel here, and what we can do is just count the bars here. All right. Now let's see here. So this, yeah. So I'm pretty sure that the bars needs to be set to 2 because based on this entry here, this implies that the entry signal is not occurring on bar close, but that entry signal is occurring when price pulls down to the open price here. Yeah, it's probably pulling down right to the open price of maybe the prior bar like that. And then once price pulls back, then Bloodhound is generating that entry signal in real time. All right. So that means the calculate mode is on price change. Right. So that's the other component to this here. Yeah. So let's go into the strategy. Right. Go into BlackBird. Actually, we have to disable it. And then change our calculate to on price change. There we go. All right, re-enable it. There. Okay. There. So that calculate mode that I just changed, the reason why I brought that up is because that affects your bar count, right? So when your calculate is set to on price change, then bar 1, right? Bar 1, I can't get over there. Shoot. Then bar 1 is the bar that's building, right? So your bar counting changes depending on what the calculate mode is, right? So if your calculate is on bar close, then when this closes, that's bar 1. But while this is building, this is bar 1. And then bar 2 would be the next bar when it opens. All right. So, yeah. All right. Yeah, so back to this bar counting here. So I'm not 100% certain, but yeah, I believe we need our bar count to be 2 there. So, and we'll test this out here in just a moment. And all right, yeah, so there you go. That's all we need for our cancellation there. All right, and let's see if there's any other elements I'm missing. Yeah, so again, I don't know exactly what this 3 ticks of movement means, but yeah. And oh, here we go. All right, yeah, so the profit target for C is the close of the bar. All right. Yeah, so for that, what I would do, let's see here. Yeah, there's a couple of ways we can do that. So I think the better way to do that is to modify the initial placement, right? So yeah, this isn't just a simple, tick-based profit target. So what I would do is I would take, so again, let's say we're trading on this bar here with my little dot, so that the bar is going to close at exact, spacing there, right? Each bar from one close to the next, right, has a fixed spacing amount. So I would take that into consideration. And what we can do is we can grab the closing price from the previous bar. So again, because our calculate is set to on price change, you have to increase your look back period by 1. So again, the close of bar 1 is the bar that's building, right? The bar that's currently forming. And so if you need to grab the, so as this bar is forming here, right, this is bar 1. And so we need to look back an additional bar, so bar 2, right? So which is different when your calculate is on bar close, then bar 1, right? The previous bar, that's the previous bar. So, but when calculate is on price change, the previous bar is bar 2. So, all right. So we can grab that closing price and then just add however many ticks there are between those. And what did I do? Yeah, it is 25. Okay. Yeah, so there we go. So that will place, right? That'll place that profit target right where that bar close is going to be there. Yeah. So that I would say that's probably the best way to do that. There is another way to do that. So we would need to go into the trailing actions here. Now, in order to get to the trailing actions, you do have to set up your initial placement. So you do have to have a profit target there. So, right. So you're kind of duplicating your work in doing this alternate way of closing out this order, taking that profit. So, right. So we could use a trailing action here. And let's see here. The action is going to be to flatten this position here, right? So obviously, based on this, profit or order set A is closed out, B is closed out. So we just have to close out C, and so we can just use this flattened position here. So now it's a matter of figuring out, okay, when do we close this out? Well, we can just use that bar counting here. So there we go. Right. So we can just count to bar 2, right? So once we get to bar 2, then it triggers the flatten there, right? So we can see here, right? This trigger, counting to 2 bars, is the same trigger that we used to cancel the entry order, right, after 2 bars. So, right, because what happens if you get into a trade here, right, and then the bar ends up reversing? So obviously if it's reversing, right, you need to cancel out this pending long trade. All right, I think that should do it. All right, I am just going to turn off the trailing here. And I doubt the market's going to work with this, but we'll give it a shot. Let's see here. Oh, Geez. There it is. All right. Sorry, I should have separated this out. There's our stop loss. Yeah. So again, the stop loss doesn't really matter here. Although, yeah, stop loss doesn't matter here. So this question is all about setting up the scale-in rules here for order C. So, all right, let's see what we have. And let me take a look at the market here. All right, well, the market can get down just a little bit more. Ah. Yeah, I think the problem is by the time the target for B gets hit, this bar might close. Oh, nope, there we go. All right, excellent. There we have it. Look at that. Target C sitting right up there where this bar is going to close. Okay, excellent. Now what would be really amazing is if this bar reverses and then we can see this order getting canceled. All right. So the key to the question here, well, two keys, but the primary question is about setting up the place there. All right. Yeah. So we had to use two order status changed, right? So one for profit target A and the second one for profit target B there. And, because this is intrabar, the mode here, just a little technical note here, right? It says all simultaneously. What that really means, simultaneously means on the same bar, right? Since this is all intrabar there, or this whole trade takes place on one bar, then that'll work. But normally, right, if this same system took place across multiple bars, then we need to put it in any order. So as long as both of these profit targets get filled, and they're gonna get filled on different bars, then we'd have to change our mode here. So yeah, and actually, yeah, we could use in sequence as well, but in any order or in sequence, either one of those, because yeah, so if the profit target A and B, if they got filled on different bars, then it's not happening simultaneously, right? It's happening across different bars. So this mode wouldn't work for this occurring on multiple bars. So, but it works in this case here. Yeah. All right. So that's really the key there. Also, don't forget to use the cancel after two bars there, right? And then as far as the closing the profit target out when that bar closes, I would say the better way to do that is to set your initial placement, calculate it out where that bar is going to close. So figure out what is your offset distance from one bar to the next bar close, and just put that in there. So, all right, and don't forget your look back period has to be set to 2 because the calculate, well, again, I'm assuming the calculate is set to on price change because of how the entry order, yeah, how the market entry, sorry, there we go, down here, how the market entry is written there.